I'm no vegetarian, but I love my animals, and here in Australia I am not alone. Whether it be stir-fry, roast beef, casserole or a medium-rare ribeye, Australia is a nation that prides itself on cattle culture, and this sees the average Australian eat around 32.5 kilograms of beef every year, putting $6.6 billion back into our economy. The most recent pro-beef campaign, led by MLA, Meat Livestock Australia, surrounds us with imagery of daily activities somewhat made easier when consuming beef. It is a masculine marketing campaign that cements the idea of you're better on beef to the consumer, accompanied by recommendations for recipes and health tips. Advertisements like this one are littered in cookbooks, across TV stations and even in the public space. Australian culture aligns itself strongly with agriculture, and particularly the importance of beef and lamb. The presence of a steak or lamb chop at a pub is expected, and our family grew up on meat and vegetable dinners. We would dine on beef at least twice a week. Even as Australia becomes more multicultural, beef is a popular choice for global cuisine. When around 2 million cattle are slaughtered for food each year, it is hard to argue against this red meat's popularity. Australia is just as concerned with ethical slaughter. Following the Bloody Business report, a website formed by Animals Australia and the RSPCA entitled Ban Live Export received nationwide support, as well as the website crashing multiple times during the first few days of publication and over 1 million signatures being recorded in their online petition. Australia is home to 28 million beef cattle, housed on 86,647 beef farms, accounting for 43% of Australia's landmass and employing more than 120,000 people. One of these farms belongs to my family, who run Myers limousines in the boutique Southern Highlands. This is Sam, my sister and a proud cattle enthusiast. Since meeting her boyfriend Scott, her passion for cattle has thrived, and together they have prepared Royal Show champions and interbreed winners. But at the end of the day, Sam and Scott breed their cattle for their carcass. Limousin is known for an efficient carcass that yields a strong quality of meat. What ends up on the plate is the real champion. Looking at these animals, they are happy, really happy. They are quite woolly as winter has settled in, and the paddocks are showing the wear of cold weather. But they enjoy meals twice a day and socialise with their friends, each with their own name, nickname, personality and a huge set of quirks. But this film isn't just for beef propaganda. I'm here to see why it's important, not just from an ethical point of view, to ensure our beef is happy, healthy and in some cases part of a family. Here, the media and the critics provide us with extremely emotive language. Some call our method of slaughter a fantasy, whilst others go into long detail personalising the animal, showing their characteristics, like Sam showed us before, but this time juxtaposed against the backdrop of torture, abuse and prolonged suffering. The problem lies in the connection between the live export of cattle to Indonesian and more recently Vietnamese slaughterhouses and the abattoirs of Australia. There are huge differences both in preparation of the meat and the slaughter process. The industry is still nursing the fallback from the ABC Bloody Business report, and now fresh claims of sledgehammers ending the lives brutally of our cattle in Vietnam add salt to an open wound. And justifiably so. The concept of humane slaughter is a strange oxymoron that settles our conscience as we tuck into a steak, pork chop, lamb burger or chicken sandwich. Supermarkets around Australia now charge a premium price for organic and free-range products that give consumers the opportunity to pay for more animal welfare, which bypasses the need for awareness to all animal welfare prior to slaughter. But the media has operated in extremes, showing desperate footage of Animals Australia investigations and activist pictures to the faces of the beef industry campaign that shows farmers worrying how they will sleep at night without the export trade. Animals Australia calls themselves the voice of animals, whilst the beef industry response gave a face to the human cost. There certainly lies a big problem with export, and particularly live export. However, critique of Australian slaughter methods and strong propaganda that the farmers will suffer and that you are better on beef is not that much help either.
Minimal stress beforehand is the key to all of this. If you stress any animal it will cut bad meat, basically. The adrenaline process that goes through, which comes through as a result of stress, it taints the meat. And basically, they call it black cutting, or the meat cuts black. Stress has an extreme effect on the quality and taste of meat. So the biggest question in my mind is where does Australia's responsibility cease?
The representation of PETA and Animals Australia has a strong presence in our media landscape. There is, however, little information about the beef side of the industry to represent the farmer and the breeder, the beef exporter and the abattoirs, who live to serve the Australian and the international beef appetite. With a little more awareness, ethical choices can be made, not just from the supermarket shelves. Eating beef that is humanely raised and slaughtered should be as important to consumers as free-range eggs and sow stall-free pork.
So as a beef producer, I think the day that I want to get out of producing beef will be the day that I don't feel a little bit sad when I send my cattle to slaughter, because it'll mean that I don't care. And, you know, to me that's everything, that I've cared for them their whole entire life and I've given them the best possible upbringing that they could possibly have. And it's part of the food chain, it's reality, but it still doesn't mean that you don't have to care.
Awareness began the campaign against live export, and awareness from all parties, with less extreme footage and campaigns, will bring greater coverage to ensure the very best for our beloved cattle.